Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're coming to you live from Las Vegas. This is Partner Live and Security Live as part of Partner Live. It's a show where we bring to you our most exciting security partners to discuss what they're seeing in the market, what they're launching this week or developing. My name is Anna Sarnek. I'm one of your hosts. I do cyber business development here at AWS and work with our top founders and top cyber investors. I'm joined by my fearless co-host, Sarah Currey.
Thank you, Anna. I'm Sarah Currey. I'm the Senior Manager of AWS Global Services Security and one of the hosts here at Security Live. And super excited about this segment for Upwind Security. And we have our CEO and co-founder, Amiram. So I'm going to kick it over to you. Introduce yourself for us.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Amazing atmosphere here. Great energy on the floor here at reInvent. Amiram, one of the co-founders and CEO of Upwind. Great to be here.
Yeah, and for those watching online, they did just bring the alcohol out, so we are not responsible for anything going on behind us in the background. But super excited. Wanted to kick it off. Can you tell us a little bit about Upwind Security? I know you do runtime fabric and helping to get accurate visibility into security. How did Upwind originate? And can you tell us a little bit of the history there?
Absolutely. So we have actually a great story right there, but I'll start from the end and then I'll go to the beginning.
Sure.
So Upwind is a cloud security platform, right, with the acronym of CNAPP, Cloud Native Application Protection Platform. And actually, we are the newest and latest entrant into this category of CNAPP, which we really like because it's a consolidation of everything that used to be siloed in cloud security, like vulnerability management and CSPM, cloud security, posture management, and workload protection and API security. And everything is just coming together because it makes so much sense that the security professionals of today can get a single context in the cloud that they can just use for vulnerability management, use for posture, use for API security, and connect it all together. So we're the latest one in this market, and there is really interesting story here. We had a company before, Upwind, a company called Spot.io, and we were a great partner of AWS, actually. And the company was sold to NetApp in 2020. And during our time at NetApp, we saw firsthand, working at a big enterprise, what it means to take care of security in a big security org. So we were always getting these reports from our cloud security tool, and would always try to challenge the findings that we get. And we would see that with DevOps mindset, we can understand better about the architecture, about the mitigating control without even being security on the security side. And we decided to embark on a journey of building a better security interface between the DevOps, the cloud teams, the security professionals, the developers who are touching cloud, in a very interesting timing, actually, because we started in 2023 when security was all about agentless.
Yes. So much has changed since the last couple of years. So tell us what's happened since 2023 then.
So 2023, where everyone is used to consume security in an agentless way. That's like the winning recipe. And then we basically challenged that, and we said, hey, there are multiple things that you just cannot achieve by just having agentless. Agentless is great. It's easy to deploy. It's easy to have. You get great inventory and everything. But how do you deal with understanding complex network topologies, understanding APIs, layer 7, ephemeral compute, containers that go up and down, and then they just spin up for a few minutes and you have no way to track it with agentless. Data in motion, it's a big thing. And these are things that you have to have real-time controls in place, like sensors. And even though we were very misunderstood, I would say at the beginning, we worked very hard to provide a lightweight, very easy to install sensor that would bring runtime to life in the best possible way for security teams. And obviously, we wrapped it together with agentless because agentless has to be there. You have to get all the control plane goodies that AWS can give you, and wrapped it together into hopefully building a very winning product in this market.
Yeah, and I love that you highlighted that there are so many different layers and how the market has evolved, because I think from cloud security, we've had the AI hype and now we have agentic AI, and we have this evolution of what does it mean to foundationally build technology from infrastructure to now a lot of the conversations and how even what you need to protect on a runtime side has evolved. So I know that you have some exciting updates of how you're making sure that your customers are protecting some of those new layers. So, as we've seen that AI infrastructure and now agents evolve, how is Upwind thinking about, how you need to do the security to keep up with all of the new vulnerabilities that might be coming up?
Great points, and it gets me to a point where I think that cloud security platform is really it's a force multiplier for security teams, because I honestly don't believe that AI security should be a tool on its own. AI security is actually can consume a lot of the context, can consume a lot of the shared knowledge that the cloud security platform already has, like understanding of the network topology, the network requests, the APIs, the software bill of materials, the vulnerabilities. And when you get it all together and then you make it more specific and personalized about AI, this is where you get like a winning AI security model. And this week we've launched like biggest AI announcement ever, also in partnership with NVIDIA and AWS about it, like a full package of AI security inside the cloud security platform. So it's like an extension of the cloud security platform. And there is their AI software bill of materials. So everywhere you have AI installed, SDKs installed in your environment, AI SPM, which is everywhere I have AI service, like I use Bedrock, I use something else. Did I configure it well? What risk associated with services that run or interact with AI services? And then lastly, in your complex network topology of having lambdas and fargates and containers and virtual machines and all that compute that you can run on AWS, who is talking to AI services? Who is talking to who can basically talk into a generalized models? So this is like a really powerful visibility that we provided this week to our customers.
That's amazing. And so, talk to us a little bit about the API security for Fargate. That's what you announced, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So, how are you seeing customers, the pain points that they had that led to you all launching that?
So API security for Fargate is it's a pretty big deal, because if you think about it, until today, the way that customers have secured Fargate was on mostly layer 3 and layer 4. They want to understand like what's the task is doing, how it's communicating on a TCP UDP protocols, and understanding what's happening there on the network. Going above to layer 7 is actually taking it one step forward, understanding like what is the app is doing, where not only you get all the traffic is coming on one port today, right? 443 or 80, but then like, can you break it down? Can you understand which one of my HTTP endpoints got traffic and how did they get it? And what is this? Because we see that AI agents are sending prompts in different endpoints. So we took it to the next level. We worked with AWS teams, and our engineers worked on really understanding, inspecting the traffic of AWS Fargate tasks and understanding what's happening on the layer 7. And it's taking the customer to a point where they have API catalogs. They know exactly what is coming to their services. They have API schemas, so they know what's in those requests. And then they can do detection and response, and they can do really good security posture of their APIs.
Fantastic. And I think a part of you being in the center of the ecosystem and working with AWS, cloud infrastructure, APIs, AI, that's all a component that then needs to be correlated with other security components, like to your point, who's having access, identity, and also not just data in motion and runtime security, but also then being able to correlate with data classification, et cetera. All of that needs to be standardized in certain frameworks. And I know that you have a lot of blog posts and webinars coming out around how not only are you the centralized platform in that CNAPP category, like you said, that's ensuring all of cloud infrastructure security, but how are you then connecting all of that, maybe using, for example, I will put myself on the spot and use the swear jar of OCSF framework. Maybe you can tell us what that is and how you use it and how it all fits into how you're integrating the security ecosystem.
Yeah, so I think great points from like data in motion all the way to like standardizing stuff and on security. I think that coming from the DevOps world into security, what I love about security is how the community together is getting on top of standardizations that are helping us to make better decisions, making us talk in the same language. So kind of like what you've mentioned, and I think like like from MITRE into like how we do CVSS and EPSS and into like what is risk? How do I quantify risk? How do I share risk between services? So I think this is huge for security, and we're very grateful to be part of this. And thank you for letting us. And then second is we're talking a lot about data security in the cloud, and I want to say something about it. If you think about it, there is data. Data is like living in two main places. Like one is at rest, like in your databases and S3 buckets and etc. And then data in motion, which is like service to service. A service connects with another service and sends data. And people don't realize that we have probably 100x more data in motion than we have data in rest. And this is something that the more that like when you scan an S3 bucket, it's pretty much like you know what's inside, and then it's kind of like static in most ways. But data in motion is not static. Data in motion, every service can generate new type of traffic, and before you knew it, like you see two services exchanging personal information of customers and
I imagine it's even more prominent as people are building agents, implementing AI more.
Yeah, I was going to say with agentic security, it's probably even faster because I know for incident response, like the attacker dwell time is something that a lot of people are focusing on. So is that something that you're seeing that data in transit, data in motion, it's becoming more of a risk, I guess, that companies need to at least assess and have some governance over?
Correct.
Yeah.
And we are seeing this as one of the top two things that I see customers when they log in into the platform or using it for the first time. Data in transit and really classifying this data in transit is becoming like one of these shocking moments. Oh, wow. I never knew that these two services exchange bank accounts. I never knew that this service all of a sudden started sending personal information to a public source. So I think like this is just the beginning with the rise of agentic workflows and agents that are talking to each other, and it's just an interesting thing to see in security how what used to be yesterday is just completely old news, and there's always new things you need to think about.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that about the example with the data on the bank account because, for example, if you use the model context protocol, I won't put a coin in there, but MCP, and you give your agent access to that, and it has access to maybe one of the apps that has the bank account. But then you don't think about maybe it doesn't have access to the other one, but it can pull it. And so it becomes more of an authorization issue and trying to figure that out, which is super key. I know y'all have also won over a lot of big customers lately. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those customer wins that they're seeing with Upwind?
Yeah. So first of all, like living and operating a startup every 3 months feels like a year.
I'm sure.
And seeing the company continue to grow, it's just like always a blessing, and we can only continue to grow where our customers grow with us, and when we bring new customers. So. Recently, added amazing logos like from Nubank, who is a great customer of AWS, and Carvana, which is a great company in a Fortune 500. And very actually long list of customers. And in security, everyone is very secretive about what they use, what tools. But it's always great to mention the customers you can.
Yes.
But it's we feel like it's a great place to be in cloud security because, as we know, like cloud security is going through a transformation, and we couldn't be more excited to be building in security with AWS in 2025, 2026. I think there is so much value to be provided to the world, and people just don't realize how early we are in the cycle of cloud, in the cycle of AI, in the cycle of security.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I could veer off just a little bit, just because I think it's so interesting with you being a co-founder, is if there's folks that are watching online and you're inspired and you're thinking about starting your own startup, Amiram, could you give us a tip about if you're going to create your own cyber startup, what's maybe a lesson learned or pro tip that you could share for people that are watching?
How difficult can it be?
See, that's the mindset you have to have. And I love that you said that you were being willing to be misunderstood for long periods of time. We talk about that at Amazon, that when you look around corners, sometimes people are not going to understand what you're trying to do because they're maybe not thinking big enough. And I think as a startup founder, you probably have to have that grit and mentality of, how hard is it going to be? And then it probably is pretty hard, but you keep pushing at it.
Yeah. So what I say to everyone is like, looking to do that. Sometimes we talk a lot about it in the company because building a company is really, really hard. And I'm looking at everyone who's listening. It's really, really hard. And we're talking about it from mentality of like, in order to build a company, you need to feel very good about your low moments, and you need to be like, feel like you're eating glass and it's tasty. And this is how it should feel. Like 90% of the time, you should have low moments, and that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. It's not about like 90% of the time you should be feeling good about yourself. And second, we're always, if you look at like the Upwind brand, like it's all about like surfing and stuff, and building on your last name, which is a great last name. Stephen Curry is an investor in the company. And,
oh, amazing! I love that.
And Steph is really connected to the company, and we talk a lot about the similarities between professional top athletes and building companies. And if you think about it, we talk a lot about it in the company, that running a startup is very much like playing a tennis game, because playing tennis is a game where you compete on a lot of points, and you can lose a lot of points, but you can still win the game.
Yeah.
And if you think about the top tennis athletes, what separates the top 5 from the top 50, it's not their diet, it's not their how hard they work, it's not about their coaches, it's about like how they deal with the points they lose. And at that point, we always talk about it. It's like we're playing a lot of points, we're talking to a lot of customers, we're doing a lot of POCs, and then our ability to build a company is coming from our ability to deal and handle the low moments. And it's like a game. It's a long game, but even though sometimes you lose points, you still can win the game. And I want to tell people, like, it's hard. You're not going to win all day, the entire day. But if you don't quit, you're going to make it happen.
I love that. So inspirational.
Yeah, that was really good. I really like that. I went to US Open for the first time this year, and I completely understand what you're saying, because it's all about that strategy of ball placement. How do you come back? So that was really good analogy and very inspirational for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to call up my long lost cousin, Steph Curry, and tell him I'm really glad that he's one of the Upwind security investors. That's amazing. So moving on a little bit into thought leadership. So as we have agentic and looking at, things are changing even so much since 2023. Amiram, what are you seeing in the next, or predicting, I guess I should say, in the next 3 to 5 years when it comes to the cloud security industry and where you see that going?
Yeah, I think that we're going to get to, I'll explain, we're going to get to like more and more agentic workflows, and the road to be fully agentic going to go through like, I love Tesla, and I admit I love Tesla. And
it's okay to say you like Tesla.
and I think Tesla is one of the best software companies that ever created. If you think Tesla is a good like hardware company, it's like probably like no, they use a lot of other hardware, but they make the full self-driving reality, autonomous vehicles, and autonomous vehicles, like if you think about it, it took a lot of time for people to trust vehicles to drive themselves. And I use Tesla a lot, and as a user, I use FSD a lot. And then full self-driving is, you're not going to let full self-driving drive 100% of the time from day one.
Mhm.
So what you want to know, you want to see that the visibility of how you're driving, and that Tesla is able to identify everything, and that it will make the right turn. And then and now maybe I'll give it on a highway to drive more, and then maybe I'll give it on like in different roads to drive more. And then I always see how it looks, and then there is always like improvement in the version. And that's in that I'll take it to our world in security. That's the same thing in detection and response, in fixing vulnerabilities. Like, we want to create this full self-driving capability. We want to create autonomous security. And in order to go there, it's not going to be 100% overnight. We're going to let it do like, some like, some like, hey, when I'm like on high road, like how can I let it like operate when I need to fix these specific vulnerabilities, or when I need to answer to these just specific threats. Or maybe I can, and I think the road to agentic AI goes through Gen AI.
Yeah.
Because when you have like a very good Gen AI telling you, hey, this is what happened in your incident, and this is what I'm going to do. And then you as a security engineer, you read it and you say, like, yeah, that's good. And you read it 80 times, like the 81, 82 times, that you're like, I'm going to let it run because it knows what it's doing. And I think this is where we're going to go. We are building the company as a software. We're going to create better and better Gen AI apps that are going to create better plans for the customers to say yes. And then this is the road to fully agentic AI.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Amiram. I really appreciate it. We do have a QR code too for those who are watching. Please check out Upwind Security. Really appreciate you coming here today. It was very inspirational. I'm ready to go maybe start a startup. Who knows?
Or maybe play tennis.
Exactly. Or play tennis. We'll start small.
Or both.